Most e-com brands are leaving money on the table every single day without even realizing it. Why? Well, because their email flows are not maximizing performance. You spend all this money on ads or influencers to get people onto your brand's website, so why wouldn't you make sure you're maximizing the return on every single dollar you spend? Well, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that, because in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the 8 essential email flows every e-commerce brand needs to help you lower customer acquisition costs, boost your lifetime value, and generate more money on autopilot without spending more on ads. And these 8 email flows are the exact ones we've used at my agency to drive $77,000 in email flow sales for a client in just 1 month, $48,000 for another client also in 1 month, and $270,000 for another client also in 1 month. Now, just quickly, if you don't fully know what email flows are, well, they are automated email sequences that are triggered by behavior such as signing up to your email list, browsing a product, abandoning checkout, or placing an order. So these email flows basically cover your entire customer journey end to end. So if you set them up right once, well, they will generate money for your e-commerce brand week after week. But wait, so why can't I just pay some cheap freelancer $200 to set up some basic email flows and call it a day? Well, there's a reason why good email flows are so important for e-commerce brands in 2025. Email flows don't just drive their own revenue, they basically amplify all of your return on all of your marketing channels. So the better your email flows are, the better of an all-around amplifier it is. So better email flows help you squeeze more conversions and faster conversions from the traffic you're already paying for, meaning you are lowering your customer acquisition costs with good email flows. And effective email flows also elevate the entire buying experience with your brand and increase trust even after the sale, and also help increase the likelihood of someone actually coming back to repurchase with your brand. So effectively, good email flows also help you increase your customer lifetime value. Now, just before I dive into every single email flow, here is a quick snapshot of a high-level build-out email flow strategy, so you can see what it looks like when your entire customer journey is covered. All right, so for the first email flow, we've got the welcome series. So the welcome series triggers the moment someone signs up to your email list, whether through a pop-up or an embed form, and the people in this flow just gave you their email, meaning it's basically your brand's first impression, where you can deliver your opt-in offer that they signed up for, you can introduce your products, and you can build trust that obviously leads to a first purchase. All right, so let's look at the structure or framework for this exact flow that you can steal. So the trigger is when someone subscribes to the newsletter or whatever the name is for your email list. So for email 1, you want to keep it simple. You want to welcome them, basically, obviously welcome them to your brand, deliver the opt-in offer, whether that's 10% off or a free gift or whatever they signed up for. Then you want to wait 1 day, and then you want to send an email about how your brand is different. You can either do this through a brand story or using comparison charts, whatever, basically explaining this in a super relevant way, because it's very easy to make these kind of emails boring when you're trying to explain how you're different. Don't go in too much detail about all of the technical stuff, unless that obviously is a USP with your brand, but just keep it simple, explain how you're different, and make it very easy to understand. And for email 3, after you've waited another day here, you can go into kind of a problem meets solution email, where you are plugging your best-selling product or products, depending on obviously what problems you're solving. This will depend on kind of what product you're selling, of course, because some brands or some products specifically obviously solve more acute and more, I guess, stronger pain points. So again, make sure you're kind of tailoring this angle to whatever product you are selling and whatever problem you are solving, so it makes sense. You don't want to oversell a problem that isn't actually that big of a problem, right? Then you want to wait another day. For email 4, you want to do an opt-in offer reminder, and also make sure you include social proof here, whether that's customer reviews, press, anything like that. But yeah, make sure you are reminding them about whatever they signed up for, because they are still in your welcome flow, meaning that they haven't purchased yet, because otherwise they would be taken out of this flow and put inside of your post-purchase flow, as long as you are using the correct profile filters. Yeah, just want to remind them about the offer, like 10% off. Don't forget you've got this code, use this discount code, whatever, make it simple again, and make sure you show that other people are obviously loving your product. Then you want to wait another day. Then you can go dive into more of a deeper story behind your brand, or like a founder story, something like that. Make sure you don't make it super boring, because again, it's very, very easy to make these story-driven emails boring, because you just obviously want to talk about yourself, include all of the small and major details about your story, but make sure you're really only diving into what's important and what's obviously helped people relate to your story and your brand. And then you want to wait 2 days, and then you want to do a very urgency-driven email. So for email 6, last chance for whatever offer they signed up for. So last chance for 10% off your first order, 24 hours left. Make sure you use this discount code before it expires. And here are some good examples of what high converting welcome series emails can look like, so you can take inspiration there. Now for the next email flow, we'll be talking about the site abandonment flow. So this flow basically basically triggers when an email subscriber, a current email subscriber, visits your site but leaves without browsing a product or clicking onto a product. So when someone leaves, obviously without exploring any of your products, well, this flow basically gives you a second chance at sparking their interest to get them to click onto a product and kind of continue down the funnel. Now for the site abandonment flow framework, so the trigger is when someone is active on site, then you want to wait 1 to 2 hours. We've seen 2 hours perform well here. Then you want to send an email saying something like, can't decide, well, here are our recommendations, or here are our bestsellers. This is what people are purchasing, so we think you'll love this as well. Very easy email to create. Keep it simple. Make sure you're showing obviously some good ideas for them to browse. Then you want to wait another day, and then what you can do is an us versus them plus reviews kind of email. So making sure obviously people fully know why you're different, why they should keep browsing your products compared to other brands' products. So that is what you can do in this email. And here are some good examples of high converting site abandonment emails that you can take inspiration from. Now for this next flow, we'll be talking about browse abandonment. So this flow basically triggers when an email subscriber views a product, browses a product on your website, but doesn't actually continue to cart or checkout. So they showed interest in something specific, a specific product. So this flow will basically remind them of that to try and get them back to take another look. And now for the structure of this flow. So when someone viewed a product as the trigger, then you want to wait something like 45 minutes. So typically 30 minutes to an hour is what we see perform best here. Then for email 1, you want to keep it super straightforward and simple. So something like, hey, take a second look, or we noticed you checking out this product. We don't blame you. You can also include some brand USPs. So what we like to do here is include like some icons, basically very short, very punchy. So something like high product quality or fast shipping or made in America or free shipping. Can also be product specific, so clean ingredients if it's skincare or something like that. Obviously just keep it super easy to understand and very, I guess, benefit or USP driven. Then you want to wait 1 day, and for email 2 you want to basically dive a bit deeper into the product benefits. So bonus points here if you send specific emails for whatever obviously product they're looking at. You can also include some customer reviews, and again, make sure these customer reviews are talking about why the product is good. You don't want to have reviews that talk about like how good the customer service is, because obviously like that's just a bare minimum and people don't purchase because of good customer service. Then you want to wait another day, and what we like to do here is include a plain text email from the founder giving something like 10 or 15% off or 20% off depending on obviously your margins and your strategy to kind of help push for that purchase, because obviously they've just looked at a product, so the intent isn't super high, but there is some interest, right? And then for email 4, you just want to place some urgency around that offer. So hey, your 15% off is expiring soon. Make sure you go ahead and use this discount code now. And again, here are some great examples of high converting browse abandonment emails that you can take inspiration from. And now for these next 2 email flows, we'll be talking about the abandoned cart flow and the abandoned checkout flow. So the reason why I'm speaking about both at the same time here is because they're basically the same flows. It's just the triggers that are different. So the content can be the exact same. It can be completely identical. That's what we typically do because you don't need to switch it up at all. So basically the abandoned cart flow obviously triggers when someone is in cart, and the abandoned checkout flow triggers when someone is in checkout and actually fills out their information. So at this point, they are so close to buying when they are in these flows. So they basically give them a nudge and obviously help kind of tackle common objections to help them feel confident about actually completing their order. And now let's look at the flow structure for these email flows. So the trigger will be either when someone added to cart or when someone started checkout. Then you want to wait 45 minutes before sending email 1. And just like for the browse abandonment flow, email 1 here, you want to keep it quite simple and straightforward. Just remind them of what they have in their cart and then include some brand USPs. Obviously remember that they are closer to buying at this point than they were in the browse abandonment email or in the browse abandonment flow. So the objections that people have here or the reasonings for not purchasing yet will be different because they're completely different kind of points of the customer journey. So then you want to wait 1 day, and then what you can do here is make a conditional split or a trigger split. So when someone has your bestseller in cart, you can send an email with specific social proof for that bestseller, and then you can have a general email for all other products with more general social proof that kind of applies to all of your products. So this performs super well because the more specific obviously your email can be to whatever product they have in cart, the better it will convert. Then you want to wait 1 day, and then for email 3, you want to speak about basically any risk reversal. Typically that will be a money back guarantee. So something like complete your order like 100% risk free, because we have a money back guarantee on like 30 days. If you don't love it, you can get a full refund. So obviously that will be a very high converting message to send to someone who's not really sure yet if they should complete their order, because now it's basically risk free. So why wouldn't you obviously promote that in your abandonment flows right here? So then you want to wait 1 day. Have they purchased before? If they have purchased before, you probably don't need to obviously give them an offer because they already know and like your products. So you can just send them a check-in email from the founder or customer service rep, whatever. Something like a plain text email works well here. here, just asking them if they need help or any guidance on what to purchase next, or yeah, why didn't you go ahead and obviously complete your order. But for people that haven't purchased before, you can give them an incentive to obviously complete the order here, because they've already received 3 emails from you at this point after abandoning their cart or abandoning checkout. So you might as well go ahead and obviously take a good shot here at actually squeezing out that last sale. So it's okay at this point to give up some margin, whether that's 15% off, 30% off, depending on your brand, but typically just a percentage off here is the simplest and works super well. But you want to make sure it's juicy enough to actually drive that sale, because you're probably going to lose them if they don't convert at this point. So you want to offer an incentive, yeah, again, 10, 15, 20, 30% off, whatever. Then you want to wait 1 day. Then you want to do an incentive expiring email. So again, just drive up some urgency on that offer. Make sure you're giving it a good shot to get someone to actually convert and use that offer. Then you can wait 2 days and basically send that same email that you sent for people that already have purchased, saying, hey, is there anything we can help with? We noticed you didn't complete your order and use your discount code, your exclusive offer. And what you can do here, just a quick pro tip, is you can include like a PS section saying, hey, I extended your exclusive offer of 20% off for another 24 hours. Go ahead and use this code. Very, very last chance, something like that. And here are some great abandoned cart, abandoned checkout email examples that you can draw a lot of inspiration from. And now let's speak about the post-purchase flow. So obviously a very important one. So this one obviously triggers when someone places an order on your website or on your store. So it's your chance to basically build trust, reduce natural buyer's remorse. It will always be there when you're online shopping. You don't feel the product physically yet. So some sort of buyer's remorse can always be there. And this is also kind of the flow that helps you turn one-time purchasers into repeat purchasers. And now for the post-purchase flow structure. So again, the trigger is when someone placed an order. Then you want to wait something like 15 minutes. Then you want to send a thank you email. And what we like to do here is make it a plain text email from the founder. You can also make it obviously sort of designed, but make it very text-based. Again, you don't need to make it like an email from the founder if you're not a forward-facing founder. You can also just make up a character or just send it from the brand team, something like that. But what we like to do is make it a plain text email to keep it very, very personal, and say something like, hey, thank you so much for placing an order. You'll experience these sort of product benefits within, yeah, obviously the next week or whenever your product gains results typically. So you kind of help eliminate that buyer's remorse by reinforcing why they purchased your product. And what we like to do is including some sort of PS section saying something like, if you're not done shopping yet, click here to keep browsing. You can also add an offer to that to obviously make it even more enticing, but it's just a great way of, yeah, getting that extra trickle of revenue basically from people that will continue on shopping because they just purchased. They are in that buying mindset, in that money spending mindset. So some people will kind of hop onto that and take action. Then you want to wait 1 day, and then you'll kind of want to send an email specifically reinforcing the product benefits of obviously what they purchased to again reduce buyer's remorse. You can also include reviews here and show other people that obviously love the products, because that will also help kind of get them very excited for their order to arrive. For email 3, you want to send an email, kind of a product activation email is what we like to call it. Basically an email that shows them or gives them a few tips on how to maximize the product results. If it's skincare, how do you apply it best? When do you apply it? All of that stuff. So basically just an email kind of explaining how to use the product or get the best results. For email 4, you just want to cross promote some of your best social media channels to make sure obviously you're diversifying the attention. Like your email subscribers don't only need to be on email. They can also be on Instagram if that's one of your best channels. Just, yeah, this is an email kind of dedicated to promote that channel. Then you want to wait 7 days, and then you want to do a review request email. Obviously very, very important. This doesn't have to be done inside of your email, like inside Klaviyo. If that's what you're using, sometimes it's easier to keep it in that third-party app, something like Loox or Stamped or whatever you're using, but make sure obviously it doesn't overlap with other kind of post-purchase emails. So have it sent around this time. Then you want to wait 5 days, and then you want to introduce some kind of cross-selling email. So your product pairs well with these products, something like that. And for email 7, you can introduce an incentive for that cross-sell. So to basically obviously give it, yeah, an even better shot at someone converting, to kind of convert them into a repeat buyer, because obviously that's super, super valuable for your brand, because you're now not spending any extra money on ads to convert them again. This is just pure profit. And here are more great emails to look at, specifically post-purchase emails that you can take inspiration from and see what great post-purchase emails look like. And now for the customer win-back flow. So this flow triggers when someone's purchased once or more times in the past, but now haven't purchased again for quite a while, typically something like 75 days to 180 days, depending on what your product is, how often people use it or consume it, right? So basically if someone's bought before, this flow helps bring them back to kind of get that repurchase again, or get them to purchase again before they completely forget about your brand and never come back again. So for the customer win-back flow structure here, the trigger again will be placed order just like for the post-purchase flow, but now the time delay will be a lot longer to obviously make up for the fact that it's a customer win-back flow. So email 1 will be kind of like, are you missing these benefits? Come back and obviously get them again if it's a product where you have to consistently use it to obviously achieve the benefits or results. Or you can send a see what's new email with obviously just showcasing new products that you've launched since. pins. You can keep the product blocks dynamic and stuff like that to only show obviously newer products. Then you want to wait 5 days. Then we like to send an email kind of specifically focused on the exact benefits or results that you are missing out on, and really dive deep into obviously the negative effects of not actually using the product consistently, right? Because you're not purchasing the product, so you're not using it consistently. Then for email 3, you want to wait 4 days, come back and get a offer with your order. So something like get a free gift with your order works super well here. So this could be something like, hey, purchase this new product and then you'll get the same product that you purchased the last time for free. So that works incredibly well. And then for email 4, you just want to spark up again some urgency on this offer. Make sure you're obviously pushing for them to actually come back and purchase, because they will likely never come back and purchase if they don't do it now. And here are some killer customer win-back flow emails, so you can see what those can look like. And now for the last email flow, we'll be talking about the sunset flow. So this flow basically triggers when someone joins your unengaged segment, which is defined by not having opened or clicked a certain amount of emails, typically 10 emails over a certain time period. So basically unengaged email subscribers obviously hurt your deliverability, your sender reputation. You don't want to send to people that don't engage with your emails. So this flow basically gives them one last chance to re-engage before you go ahead and suppress them. And as you can see, this is how simple this email flow should be. So you don't want to include 3 or 5 emails and giving out a ton of different offers and all of that stuff. Keep in mind, these people have already clearly shown you that they are not engaging with your emails at all. They are probably not interested anymore, or they are just not using that email inbox anymore that they are signed up to your brand's email list with. So you only want to send one email. And the reason why is that you will get horrible engagement in this flow. You will typically be seeing like 2% open rates or 5 to 10% open rates at most, because again, you're sending to your most unengaged profiles before you go ahead and completely remove these profiles from your database, or at least just suppress them, because obviously they are of no value to you anymore. So if you're sending 3 or 4 emails, well, now you're just completely damaging your sender reputation even more than you need to by sending a lot of emails to people that just are not engaging anymore. So just send one email, one last attempt to kind of win them back and get them to click or open the email, because then they will join obviously your engaged segment again, and they'll not be in your unengaged segment anymore. So this email should basically just be a very clickbaity subject line email, something like, hey, this will be our last email ever to you, or is this the end, or is this goodbye, something like that, and just keep it plain text for an even better chance of inboxing. There's no reason to obviously go all out on design here. Basically, if they don't open, if they don't click on this email, they will be suppressed. And here are some good simple examples of what a sunset flow email can look like. So now you know exactly what email flows you need, how to structure them, and what the content inside of them should look like. So go ahead and watch my detailed 21-minute video training on how to create high converting abandoned cart and abandoned checkout flows, so you can recover more lost carts as quickly as possible. With that said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.